grew up in a quiet village, mainly isolated from the rest of civilization. The people of the hamlet were kind, and the elders kept old traditions alive, often keeping the peace by personally settling the ever-rare disputes. I was particularly fond of the charms they taught me to draw for safety and good fortune. One night, as I was walking home through the woods, a terrible storm struck without warning. Howling winds whipped at my hair as I stumbled through the swamp. My rain-drenched dress got plastered to my skin. In the slick wet mud, I lost my footing. I careened backwards. I struck my head against a rock, slipping in and out of consciousness. I strained to identify the dark shapes approaching me from between the trees. That's the last thing I could remember that night. My kidnappers kept me chained to the wall in a flooded cellar. Though dimly lit, I could see other people there too. Prisoners, hanging. Their large open wounds swarmed with flies. A day later, the captors returned. They carved chunks from the prisoners' bodies with rusted blades, consuming their very flesh down to the bone. Most I saw did not survive long once the cannibals targeted them. But somehow deep within, I persisted. Starved, infected, and mutilated after several weeks of torture. My arms were gauntly, and they loosened in their shackles. I pulled hard, the metal tearing through skin and muscle, until I was free. But my flesh oozed viscous yellow pus, and my bones were only visible beneath gangrenous wounds. I couldn't go any further. Delirious, I thought of home. I thought of the elders. With my dying breath, I etched the symbols they had taught me into the floor using what remained of my fingers. And as soon as I did, almost in response, a dark hunger stirred inside of me. It yearned for blood. And that moment, I made an oath. I chose vengeance. I heard later that the village's search party for me eventually brought them to an old shack in a swamp. Inside, its previous inhabitants had been viciously dismembered and devoured by what they believed to be an unidentifiable animal. In the cellar, amid rotten corpses and disconnected flesh, the elders' charms were scrawled in blood on the floor. My body was not among the remains. It was never found. And the village was never the same again. Dark hunger stirred inside me. It yearned.
Yearned for a cough drop.